Hello, friends. It is I, host Eric, host talking with those people along here with host Taylor and Susanne, Norway. Her last name's Norway, her first name's Norway, her middle name's Susanna. That's why she goes by it.
She's also a Viking.
She is. NSN is what her friends call her sometimes. So, we're here today to
And
talk
we're
about
not.
actualization and the development of the self. Here we're all hanging out. We talk about MBTI shit all the time. We talk about personality and self development. What does it mean to engage in self development? Why can't? Why do we need so much help? Why do we need to talk so much about what we're doing all the time? And why we're doing it and what we're thinking all the time stuff. Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to talk about this shit all the time? What good does it do, if anything? And what does it
You and
mean to be?
I, or people in general.
I'm talking about
Uh,
help me understand this mysterious enigma that I have presented to you. Taylor, you
which
go.
is self-development or ENTPs. Because if you're talking
No,
about extroverts, you're not talking about extroverts.
I'm
You're talking
saying
about
people in
self-development.
general. Look, maybe not. Maybe they don't come here, but there's shitloads of INFPs over there at MBTV who are going, "Help me understand myself."
Right. Because people don't understand themselves. And I mean, just if you talk to people, there's social norms that are reinforced through media, which I would not say is a social norm. Most media is not a social norm at all. Um, but still, people's experience, especially intuitives, differs from reality, or differs from what they think that it should be like.
So you think it's a matter of idealizing something that is different than what it is, and
I don't
wanting to
I don't think it's
understand the distance between
idealizing.
the two.
I don't think it's idealizing. I think that it's at least for intuitives, probably more than anyone, it's going to be this is how there's a gap between who you are and how you're perceived or how you should be perceived. Um, and so I would think that the development is figuring out where the two are and then finding out where you are comfortable floating between the two.
I think a lot of people wouldn't throw how you're perceived into the equation of self development at all. But let's come back to that in a second. Susanna, do you have any thoughts on this notion of having a vision for a more ideal version of yourself that you're trying to fulfill?
Well, self-development in general, I think it's a lot about why do I do the things I do, and why does others respond to me in a certain way, like the mechanics of interactions and how people are different. It's also a lot about understanding others, I think.
So, what's the purpose of understanding why then?
Why? The purpose of that is to know what it is, so you can do something about it.
Oh,
I
is that what the purpose is though? Is that really our purpose for knowing
Well,
why?
no one's there's not going to be any
Not really.
purpose that's universally fitting because everyone has different agendas. You and I would probably go, and actually the three of us probably all to some extent would be going, okay, who am I? Because I did not like that weird outburst of FI that happened. I don't know what that shit was. I'm not equipped to handle it. I got to find out where these FI minds are going through life. Well, a lot of other people are going, you know, how do I get along well with others? How do I mean, the what was that one that Zach made? That was the most popular TWFP video of all time.
How to
I don't know
tell if
if
an INTP likes you?
right. There's probably a shit ton of that out there. Like as far as what people are looking for and finding themselves, or whatever. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't do shit externally if you're confused internally. I mean, you can do shit.
Well, I
Never
think
mind. I don't believe that. But
one early stage of development for an ENTP is probably my. What I don't understand. The problem is I need to go out there and I need to explain to these people that they have to be logical, that their feelings don't matter, and they need to stop doing it. It's wrong, and I hate them. I think that's one stage of development for an ENTP is like kind of Loki's sort of at that stage right now. You know where
right.
he is fist pumping about stuff like fist shaking. I mean, shaking his fist.
Which he, at 22, I was doing a lot of the same stuff.
Totally.
I think that he's more mature than I am a little bit. And I think I was probably way more mature than you were. So
When I was 22, I don't even know. I don't even remember 22. I must
I
have been
do,
in
because
college, I guess. I don't know.
that's when I graduated college. My girlfriend got pregnant. I was unemployed during that pregnancy, which was stressful.
Was that child Jordan?
Yeah, I've only got the one that I know of.
When you were 22?
Yeah,
That's crazy young, dude.
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't ready for it either.
That's interesting. It's weird. I never really thought about it. I thought of you as being like me, around your mid 20s, and you had a kid. But of course,
No.
that few years makes a big difference. 22 having a kid, or 23 probably when she was born, is a lot different than 28. That 5 years makes a big difference.
I was divorced by the time I was 25.
That's good. It's good to get the first divorce out of the way.
Yep.
Anyway, self-development. I think what it all boils down to is understanding yourself helps you being able to apply yourself more efficiently in your everyday life.
There's a lot of lessons to be learned from Taylor's divorce,
Okay,
She's
especially
all
for you.
about it.
but I want to go to the efficiency point here. Because she says, you think that self development is about being more efficient. I like the answer. I agree with it in large part, even though I would have said that's a ridiculous answer not super long time ago. But this is what I agree with the efficiency thing is I can see myself, but it applies specifically to TE for me. I can feel myself getting better at TE. I can feel myself consciously valuing
Does
it
it hurt?
and so therefore seeking opportunities to define things as that are successful, and or seeking things that are successful that fit into the description a bit, and just generally molding reality thusly, you know?
Would you say that your TE, when you utilize TE, it sucks all of the FE out of your soul?
Oh yeah. There's no room to be nice when we're having to actually get shit done.
Especially for you. I mean, this getting this stream set up. I'm looking at the thing.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. If I'm trying to, because it's hard to muster the get up and do shit to get up and do shit. So when I actually do, it's like everybody stand off to the side and quietly watch.
And it was because we were talking about Kershaw that stands up and gets shit done. I
I'll tell
want free
you.
knives. I'm prostituting myself right now for free knives.
Taylor, let me ask you a question. You've used the Kershaw knife before, I believe. Do you find them to be low quality or high quality instruments
I
of
find them to
cutting?
be very high quality, especially the made in USA ones.
Well, they're made in the
So
United States.
This Kershaw, the Kershaw Dash,
Hmm.
is made in the United States. It is a limited run for bladeshq.com, where I buy all my knives.
Can you
So
hold it up
send me
there
some
again?
free
Can I
shit.
take another look at it there?
I can. And see, it's spring assisted. Just pops open.
That
It's a
is a
Ken Onion
handsome knife.
design.
That's a handsome knife. Not my favorite color, maybe, but I wonder if it comes in a darker color or.
It comes in black and green and orange and red. And actually, I wonder if I have it on me. I do. This is a Kershaw Blur. That is also a Ken Onion design Kershaw. And they have it in the exact same color green. So I've got a Blur that's red. I've got a Blur that's this color red. I don't have a Dash yet that's this color green, but they match perfectly.
Well, let me tell you this. One of the weird features of that knife is no matter how much you use sharpen on it, you still can't see it clearly.
It's because it blurs so fast.
Okay, well, thanks, Kershaw. Thanks, Kershaw Knives, for providing Taylor 2 knives with which to play and his dream of getting free knives from you, the Kershaw Corporation, even though, as you can tell, he does so with a great assist with the wonderful product selling FE of Host Art.
who also needs some knives.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm getting at that. And my address is
Right.
5919 Sultana Avenue, Temple City, California, 91780. I'm the only one who consistently says his own address out loud on the internet for some reason.
Right. And he knows my address,
I'll mail
I'm
some to
here.
him. You can mail his to me, I'll mail them to him. I'm told it's safe. I won't fuck him over like that, so you can make sure that I'll
won't.
send
You
him
can
his
mail them
knives.
to him. That's for sure.
Yeah. Susanna doesn't get any
Also-
knives though. Okay, don't give her any. None of this was her
Well,
idea at all.
She's in the People's Communist Europe country. So can they have what are the knife laws in Europe? Can you have knives?
Only
Yes,
sports.
you can have knives.
I'm pretty sure it's
No,
only
they give
sports
knives
now.
to children.
Okay.
I got and I didn't get in trouble. I took to show and tell when I was in preschool a knife. I don't think it was a Kershaw.
Let's get back on topic. Here
Self-development.
we go. Self-development, self-actualization and stuff. I was positing earlier that another way of thinking about it is to identify things that make you non-optimally function. So that model would suggest that there's a single self that can function optimally or less than optimally, and you want to seek to remove those things that cause non-optimal function. The thing about that notion, of course, is there isn't really exactly a single self. We do, and different types conceive of the self in different ways. As I was talking with Susanna the other day, I was explaining that I tend to think of myself as a single self, and my normal construction of self is one of an entity moving linearly through a series of events in time. And Taylor mentioned before, INTPs measure time as a sequence of events happening, distinct events, which isn't really how time occurs, which means we think of it in meaning first. This meaning, then this meaning, then that meaning, right? Because we
Which creates
metaphysically
problems when you hit traffic.
Say again?
Creates problems if you don't account for traffic or other shit.
It does. Because as far as we know, well, let's see, I got lunch with June at noon, and then I got dinner with Tanner at 6:30. So I go, okay, well, I'm having lunch. It's a long lunch. I'm gonna eat for 6 hours. But I really want to eat as long as I can with her. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna eat all the way till 6:29. Then I'll go to the next. I'll have the next thing. But the next thing's an hour away. As far as we're concerned, that doesn't count as time because we're not doing anything fun or interesting.
Right.
And it shouldn't count as time. And so, if we're an hour late, then you can blame reality. Anyway, that's getting sidetracked a little bit. Where I was going with that is
Self-development.
Self-development, right. So the single
NTPs
self
could help. It would benefit NTPs, ENTPs, probably ENFPs, to remember that use your cell phone alarms. Use those things. Because that'll keep you on track if you set your alarm when you logically know that you somewhere. Gotta leave early. Gonna set them for 20 minutes early. For 30 minutes.
But a lot of times the problem is not that I forget. The problem is that I push it as long as I can, and then a little further, and then I arrive as late as I can possibly arrive late without experiencing any real consequences.
I know. I don't have a solution yet for that either. I can tell you that at least using the system means that you won't forget.
That's true. Okay, so that has to do with the single self versus the bundled self. I was talking with Susanne the other night, and she was saying something along the lines of, I think she has both kinds. That she has a single self going through events in time, and she also tends to think of herself periodically as bundled attributes. Like, there's nice Susanna, who's being kind to people who are experiencing blah, 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 blah. And then there's put a handle on shit, Susanna, or when there's a whatever, Susanna. Talk to me, Susanna, about your weird INTP multiple self.
Well, you pretty much described it.
Fucking INTPs.
So, which
self
how
is
often
that,
do
Susanna?
each of the two come out? How often do each of the two come out? Because putting a handle on shit is not the phrase I typically associate with INTPs. Although I have seen it happen. My mom's an INTP, and I've seen her put the handle on shit, normally on people.
Well, it's like everything else when it's absolutely necessary.
Or fun and totally
Or fun.
unnecessary.
Yeah,
Do
that's true.
INTPs enjoy putting the handle on people?
Do you like to bust
If-
chops? Do you like to pow pow?
Yes, a lot.
You like to pow
Do you
pow
ever
a lot?
use a Kershaw knife?
No,
So-
because I don't have one. Send me a free knife.
Okay, Kershaw,
God.
you hear it. You gotta put one in for Susanne too. I guess she gets one now since she mentioned it. But look, here's the thing: you go into a store, they're trying to fuck you. They're not giving you a refund for this thing that was broken. Are you happy because they're totally wrong? Okay, and you just need to. You haven't opened up on them yet, but they're totally wrong. Are you happy to have the opportunity to stretch your legs, or are you, God, I don't want to go there and hurt their feelings, or are you? That sounds like a hassle.
Your microphone is acting up, so I didn't hear what you had
You
said
are
there.
a little staticky. I didn't know if that was me or you, but that's you for sure. Yeah, I mean we can hear you. You're just kind of click static.
Hello.
It's better.
Hello. That is better.
Okay, so the thing is, I think we're talking about the bundle itself. The point is, if you are in that situation, right? Oh yeah, if you're in that situation, do you want to pow pow? How does that play out?
What was the situation? It was cracking all the time.
Okay. Oh, you bought a product. It was a fairly expensive product, a couple $100, a couple thousand Norwegian dollars, however many that is. Okay. So you're like, Jesus, I spent a lot of money on this, and you got it home and it was broken. It was completely not working. It was like a TV, and it turned out there was like mice living inside of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you take it back to the store, and they say, "I'm sorry, we have a no returns policy on that model. It was a floor model. We told you there's no returns." And they're being snotty with you. They're saying, "Why don't you go swimming in the fjords?" Now, are you excited for the opportunity to pow pow? Like, okay, good. I'm just waiting. Okay, I'm about to launch, and here we go. And then the person's face goes from smug and snarky to, ah. That make you happy?
Pow pow.
That's like, do you enjoy
Yeah,
conflict?
Not really. But if I went into it and it worked out well, I would be really satisfied afterwards.
Because you faced up to something that you don't want to do, or because of the excitement of the conflict itself?
The first thing.
Okay,
Do
so
you
it's
not want to
it's
do
a
it because
TV.
you're shy, or it sounds like a hassle?
Both.
Huh.
It can be a hassle. Like I have to pow with actually stack on of that exact situation. I bought a locking cabinet that doesn't work for dick.
Huh.
But they said that since the warranty was voided, since I was vandalized by the locksmith, by the professional locksmith I hired to help open it for me at midnight on Friday.
So, because our broken product required you to hire somebody to get access to your property, as a consequence, we're not responsible for it being broken in the first place.
Right. Yes. The lock went out and it wouldn't turn. I mean, it was locked shut on Friday night, and I needed into it because it's where I kept my stuff. So I called the locksmith that also works at a couple local banks. He's who the banks use. He's a good locksmith.
Uh-huh.
And yes, in the process of removing the lock that completely froze up permanently and would not turn ever again, it was vandalized or damaged by a non-stack-on professional. So, as much as I'm whoring out to Kershaw right now, fuck you, stack on.
Stack
Well,
on.
I can-
Go ahead. Sorry.
I can give an example which actually happened. I was at a restaurant and something was really wrong, and I tried to complain right as we were there, and I got a completely ridiculous offer. I didn't do anything more about it until I got home and wrote the story in a very objective way about what actually happened. It sounded really bad because it was 100% objective. And then I got
Because it was what?
objective.
Okay.
Like it could not be dismissed.
And
So
so,
I actually got more out of that. I got like 4 times the amount I spent there.
Did you get matching Kershaw red knives? No, you didn't. You probably didn't get matching Kershaw knives, did you? You probably
No.
got like a gift certificate or something.
well, what the hell did they do to you, Susanne, at this restaurant?
Yeah, we got to
Oh,
hear the details of it.
No, I don't want to go through that now.
Oh,
We
Long
don't know which
story.
restaurant it was.
No,
Okay.
you wouldn't know anyway. You're not in Norway. You've never been here.
listen,
I have two.
I'm going to talk to you about this privacy problem you got. I want you to know something, Susanna. All the things that you think, you better not let anybody know because they're embarrassing. Or
No, that's not it. That's not it. It's because I don't think I would be able to tell the story so it comes off the right way in English without going through it a few times.
No.
Because there was a
Because
lot
Eric
of stupidity.
cries.
I do cry. I've been known
Eric
to cry.
cries.
I've been known to be a
It's
bit of a
super
crybaby.
awkward for me.
All right, so let's go back to this issue of self-development. Let's talk about actual angles of self-development that one might take, including, in my opinion, becoming more of a crybaby. I think to the extent that you cling to shit about ideas about yourself, that those ideas about yourself to which you cling most strongly, in the sense that if somebody sort of challenges it, you get defensive and or push back a lot, those are areas where you might want to look into possible areas that have available ore to mine, so to speak, ore to mine. Because for me, for a long time, I was very particular about displaying a certain level of masculinity. And I think it's because as I felt as though my adolescence in some way was emasculating. So I'm not historically somebody who cries a lot. Until recent, like last couple of years, now I just cry all the time. I mean, I'm just, it depends what's going on. I cry once a month for a couple of days for sure. I'm crying off and on because it's sleepy week. I go through my speed withdrawals. It makes me super emotional. And then, it makes me both kinds of emotional. It's like, oh my God, you guys. It means so much to me that you guys are here. I get that kind of emotional. I get the kind of like, it's just frustrating. I'm so frustrated. I get that kind of baby emotional. I mean, it gets ridiculous.
Sounds like a
That sounds
hormonal
like it.
woman.
Right. It does sound like a hormonal woman. I feel a bit like a hormonal woman sometimes during sleepy week, and it's fine. But you know what else I am? I am much more. Well, I don't know. It's like I send people nice messages and sort of. I think if I were always on a sleepy week, I would probably be more. I'd be more without trying, making shit happen with women. Because if there's one thing I can do pretty goddamn well, it's writing shit. Especially if I'm strategizing. The only time I strategize messages much ahead of time rather than while I'm writing them is if I'm sending women messages that I'm trying to get on. Then I would be like, "Hey, you're special" or something.
Give us a better example than that.
Well, I mean, like, okay, a better example is what I did with Candace last week, where I didn't really realize I was doing it. It was sleepy week, and what I was really trying to do was get her to come over here and
Do you see my
sleep with me.
shit-eating grin?
What?
You see my shit-eating grin?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, what I did was I wrote her a Facebook message. It was really nice to talk to her about, like, Candace, I really want to thank you for. It wasn't bullshit. I felt it, but it was that kind of mushy stuff, But it wasn't mushy like romance because she's my ex-wife and we're not together. We're not gonna be together or anything. I just thought I was expressing my genuinely heartfelt feeling. Then I took a shower, and then started cleaning up. And because she was coming over to. Oh no, right. She started cleaning up. And so then I discovered that I was trying to get her to come over, but she was already in bed, and I failed to get her over here because.
What were your plans after that?
What?
What would you have done after that?
Oh, well, I would have had sex with her. But the thing is, I didn't know that's what I was trying to do until I started trying to get her to come over. Even I was just thought, oh well, I'm talking to Candace, and I'm taking a shower, and I'm cleaning up, and I'm making the bed, and I'm contacting Candace saying, hey, you should come over here. Oh, that's what I've been doing.
You dog.
But but see, was I doing that, or was it actually just a coincidence that I was?
No, it was not.
It might have been. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I'm telling you, your subconscious is doing stuff.
That's good. It looks out for me during sleepy week. It doesn't do that
It
shit
does.
during the rest of the time. Okay, so there's a self-development topic. You might think to yourself, I'm not okay right now because I'm a drug addict or I do a bunch of drugs or something. And it makes me feel guilty because I learned drugs are bad. Should I quit doing drugs to be okay? The answer is no. But if you have one drug in particular that you have to quit, then you should. Or two, or whatever. You want to think of it like this. Which drugs don't cause me problems? And when it comes time to pick a drug to do on a given day, it's Friday night, I'm going to go get loaded. Pick the drugs that don't cause you problems.
Like
And
alcohol.
then you get to keep doing drugs. If you can't pick the drugs that don't cause you problems, and you keep picking the drugs that do cause you problems, then you have to quit doing drugs.
I mean, I think that the important thing there is to not do them to fix yourself.
Oh yeah,
To,
they're
don't
not a
quit something
solution.
and think that's going to fix you. Because, I mean, I was going at it the other way. If you say, I need to quit myself, that likely you got there, the reason that you got there is the problem. So I think I've heard a lot of people romanticize quitting as whatever, nirvana. If I could just quit, I just quit. And then they quit, and then they go back because they're expecting too much out of quitting.
Right. And they're expecting quitting to
Make everything wonderful.
They concede. They have to necessarily concede their will somewhat to quit, because their will is to continue consuming the substance. But then they have to balance the top line there. I'm going to concede my will where I need to concede it, and not where I don't. And probably at first you're going to have to concede more will than you initially want to. But you're not going to be in this place where you're going to be analyzing it like this. You'll be thinking, I don't give a fuck. I'm desperate. I'll do whatever. And you should be like that. If that gives you a serious chance of quitting the thing, you got to quit. You're going to have to forsake your own individual will to accomplish that which your will has failed to solve thus far, and which persists despite your will. Presumably, you never set out to become a person whose drugs cause them problems. If you're a drunk like I was, then your drugs cause you massive amounts of embarrassment. You are guaranteed to make an ass of yourself. You're guaranteed to do stupid shit. You're guaranteed to take huge risks, like drive home while blackout drunk. Have no idea how did I get home last night? Oh my god. And then that's guaranteed to happen over the course of your drinking career if you're an alcoholic. So, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna have to stop drinking completely. If you're that, there's no other solution available to you. I've got good news. Fucking pull a bunch of bong rips. This isn't a problem. This is easy squeezy. I can smoke weed all day. It never caused me a single problem in my life. Can't drink alcohol all day and die.
I think one of the best statements I ever heard, not ever, but House said, I don't have a problem, I have an addiction. About his opiates, his Vicodin, which turns out he had a problem. But
It is possible.
I like the distinction.
It's definitely a different. There's a different thing. I don't have a problem with cigarettes. I don't have a problem with coffee. I don't have a problem with weed. I have only addictions to one of those three. Really, I'm only addicted to cigarettes. This I smoke it all the
Probably the
time.
coffee.
But if I run out of it, ain't no big thing. Even
You probably
speed, I'm
have
not
a
really
caffeine
addicted
addiction.
to it. I take a week off every month approximately. Now look, this whole argumentation chain is predicated on the notion that somehow I'm okay. And there was a time when I said I'm not gonna make that kind of presumptuous claim that I'm okay. So we're gonna take it with a grain of salt. But I am now gonna make that presumptuous claim that I'm okay. And that's about as presumptuous as it's gonna get. I'm not gonna say I'm a lot more than okay, but I can say compared to what I used to be, which was definitely not okay, I'm okay now. I'm safe because I'm not drinking. And so even if I fuck up badly,
okay is misunderstood.
even if I fuck up badly, it's gonna be there's a limited range scale of my fuck up. When you toss in drinking to the point of passing out, stumbling around and stuff into the equation, and my natural mood volatility, well, shit's gonna happen, and who knows what the fuck happened. It's like Candace used to play this awful, awful fucking game with me where she'd intimate that I had done something awful the night before, but wouldn't tell me what it was, and I would say, don't tell me whatever it is because I didn't want to hear it. But I think at least half the time or more, there was nothing she was referring to. She was just torturing me.
That's awful. Candace, if you're watching this, I don't approve of that shit. And I've approved of everything she's done so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can only blame her so much, right? Because that much of a drunk,
you're an asshole.
That much of a drunk, and you're gonna get punished a little bit for that shit.
We know, we get it.
She feels bad about it. If that matters, I don't know. So what other self-development issues might people come? Okay, let's say you're an INFP and you're saying, how do I be me and understand myself and know what that means? Huge percentage of people in this community are INFPs or ENFPs. NFPs make the most percentage of MBTV's viewing population.
What is, though, the purpose of self-development or any of this shit? What are people looking for? What is okay? You've mentioned okay, not just tonight, but in a lot of your videos, you brought up okay. Okay. So what is that for someone? I mean, people think of okay as something, at least it appears to me that people think of okay, I'll know that I'm okay when I'm okay. When there's no stress or, problem in life. I think that that's where people think that okay will be, maybe not consciously, but when they're not there, they know that they're not okay because obviously there's still some issues in life. I think I think the standard is something that a lot of, especially intuitives, I've heard more NTs talk about standards that are just imaginary. I think that's a big fucking thing that.
Okay, well, I can answer the question with a real answer for myself. I don't know if it applies for everybody else. I would suspect that. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Okay, for me, it would be like something like this. I need to both feel safe and in the churn of a wave that's currently crashing or unfolding. So I want to always be in the moment of shit's going down right now, whatever it is, and concurrently safe. That's my goal, and it's not as difficult. It's not like as contradictory a thing as it would sound because that's more or less what I have going on right now. I have shit structured so that I always feel like I have something interesting going on or currently unfolding in one of the various little things that are going on in life, and I'm not ever bored. I have, I'm getting a little bit better at SI stuff, cleaning up a little bit. I'm getting better at TE. It is uncomfortable for me. It doesn't make me happy to do TE. It makes me feel like, but I appreciate it and I value it now in a way that I didn't before. Those are self-development things for me. I'm a process-oriented person, so I'm going to view a developed self as one that is engaging correctly in a process rather than as one who has attained certain milestones. And so in that regard, I feel myself to be pretty well realized, pretty healthy.
So does that feel okay though? I mean, I think it's important to have the standard set before you start going out and trying to do stuff. I hear more people saying that they're going to find themselves. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to read this book, I'm going to take these shrooms. But know what they're looking for.
Right. Well, I think one thing is a lot of people who think they aren't okay are perfectly fine. And that was my original motto here was there's nothing wrong with you. Which I continue to maintain as the core message of the channel. There's nothing wrong with you. There's just something wrong with your arguments. But the thing is, beyond that, I accept the fact that for some people like me, there was something wrong with me. I was a drunk. I was a worthless, hardcore, worthless drunk. And so, that was something wrong with me that I had to change. I had to fix. But once fixed, then there was nothing wrong with me now because I was no longer alcohol's bitch. And that's really what I was for years. I traded everything for alcohol. To be able to drink safely, because I have to have safety, right? I gotta have two things. I gotta have safety and I gotta have excitement concurrently. So, in order to get the safety part, I just holed up and isolated in my garage and didn't interact. Because if I did interact with people, I'd make an ass of myself, or people would know. People would know that what I really was, and heaven forbid. And in fact, I covered it up really well because at the end, people were shocked when I said I'm an alcoholic and I had to quit drinking. And oh yeah, I don't drink anymore. People had you were an alcoholic? Eric, you're not alcoholic. Of course, at that point you're no longer susceptible to other people's stupidity regarding such things. You just go, trust me. The notion that somebody else would be like, you obviously drink fine. You don't see any problems in your life. Well, of course you don't see it. It's hidden away. This is why I hate secrets too. Everything I've ever wanted to hide away has been something that I needed to seriously address. And a problem, like being a drunk, or what else have I wanted to hide away? I mean, I wanted to hide away my first wife a lot. Like, I was embarrassed by her, you know? She acted crazy.
Was she crazy?
Yeah, she's crazy.
My first wife is
That's
too.
bad.
Yeah, well, she's actually, like, she turned out, after we parted ways, to sort of devolve into genuine mental illness. But when I was with her, she was an FE disaster. For me at the time, especially being super FE sensitive, trying to be cool all the time, you know? And it was a clash that I was appalled by her failings sometimes. And relieved when I didn't get embarrassed by her at some point. And so, I didn't see her much of her, and I don't know, it was awful. That was awful. So I wanted to hide that shit away.
Level.
I don't really have any secrets anymore, not any big ones. Nothing worth mentioning. I'd love to be completely transparent to the extent that I have shit I have to keep secret because I respect the fact that it was, that I learned it under the condition that I would do so. It's a pain in the ass, but I respect my obligation to keep a secret to the extent to within reason. Like, there's reasons why I'm supposed to keep a secret, and there's things that could potentially happen that are very, very unlikely possibilities, and then there are sort of like, there's this issue of plausible deniability.
Yeah, but then there's a secret, but it's not really your secret.
Well, I've been entrusted with it.
Yeah, but it's not really your secret, so that's why you can't be transparent about it.
Right. I can't be transparent about it. It's not my secret. They should have a different word for the secret that one hears than the secret that one tells.
Really?
Right. So I would say I have an Entrusticon. An Entrusticon is not my secret, but it's a secret somebody else has told me.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
But regardless of the word, it doesn't matter which word we use, right? Do we all agree that English needs a word that distinguishes the secret that was said by somebody else and you're entrusted with versus a secret that you tell somebody else and entrust them with?
For sure.
Does make
I thought
sense.
that you had just invented it. I thought that you just told me what it was. If you're just inventing one, I think we can do better than Entrusticon because it's not a transformer.
Right. But I mean, the point is, I was just trying to not generate the actual name of the thing. I was trying to show you what I mean about, like, giving something to work with. It was a placeholder. It's a placeholder.
Okay, well, let's fill it. Kind of like my Gmail YouTube thing. Change this later. The permanent placeholder. I can't change this later
No, it's
either
great.
anymore because that's become it.
It's perfect. Change this later is great.
I mean, that's how you figured out I was an ENTP, wasn't it?
I don't know, but I like the way that it eternally defies collapsing its truth value.
Yeah. Does.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I've got a ton of like folders on my computer and just all over the place that have things like when I just dump my phone into a file, it says unsorted. I've got a bunch of unsorted files, just labeled unsorted. Unsorted, miscellaneous. Change this. Move to external hard drive. Like all of my files are basically.
Let's look at my folder.
To do.
Let's look at my folder names. Okay, here we go at the desktop. We got Detroit. We got form arcing. We got JHK. Market artifacts, that's clear. New. Shield law, which doesn't have shield law shit in it. Oh, it does have shield law shit in it. That's good to know. Oh, that's where that shield law stuff is. Okay. You lose the stuff that's labeled properly. Uploads is not a folder I'm going to open at the moment, but I will tell you that it's got other things than uploads in it. There's nothing uploady about it. TwFP rec. This is I guess it's a recording folder. I've got several of these recording folders around. My videos folder is full of unnamed videos, of course. It's got old. It's got Helen. See, this is smart. I changed the name of this folder to Helen in case I was sharing my desktop sometime. I'm having a little bit of wisdom about keeping security on shit. See all these fucking old things? I deleted a whole bunch of them. I tried to upload 600 videos at once to the Raw channel the other day, and it wouldn't let me do it. That's how many are in this old folder. There's 600 videos in here. And I don't even know what the fuck they are. I don't know what any of this shit is. So, what I'm going to do is upload some of them right now to the Raw channel. These are old ones, which means they're not from... you know what old means. Good news, everybody. Oh, you guys weren't looking at my screen the whole time. You guys weren't even looking at my screen.
But look at this. Oh, that's wrong.
Okay, here's my desktop. I got new, beautiful folder. This. My favorite folder, new. And this is from the Detroit trip. This is one of my more well-organized folders. Oh, that's right, I was going to upload that thing to some, yeah. Okay, that's not sharing my screen. That's too much of a hassle. Okay, so...
Yeah. But Eric, check out this. This is a folder I made.
How do I make this... Oh, there. Let's see, make it big. Fuck no. What's in that one? What's in the fuck no folder?
Think.
Oh,
You know what's in there.
stuff that doesn't get put up there?
Is
or
it
what?
porn?
No, it's probably mistakes. Mistakes
It's
that I
porn,
made.
isn't it?
Sometimes I occasionally have recorded things I shouldn't record on my desktop, and those ones don't go up there. And again, it's because privacy
You're
of things.
pornographing?
It's because of my entrusted finalias. That's why.
Still need to improve on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's similar naming.
Okay. Well. Okay. If you don't like a finalia,
That's super cumbersome.
well, we need something after the entrust.
It could
part.
be Alatia. It doesn't need to be in trust. It can be a whole new word.
Okay, how about trusts with an O?
Oh my God. You are having such an extroverted intuition failure on your linguistically.
But is there a bird that's called that?
A trost?
Maybe not. Yeah.
There's an albatross.
It might be. That's an albatross.
A trost.
Yeah.
It's a
completely
trost
different
issue.
thing.
I like the idea of there being
Trost.
a word that's trost. It's one letter off. It means something similar to trust. Okay, so it's like the assumption of you behaving as anticipated, not because they're somebody that you trust, but because they're somebody who you believe to be sufficiently rational to recognize their self-interest is to behave accordingly. That would be the definition of the word
Confidant?
trust.
I think you just described a confidant.
So then you could say, no, it's not a trust issue, it's a trost issue. And people would say, what? And then you'd have to explain it to them. Then they
We can make a
Google
different
it.
video just explaining it.
Definition of the word trust is simply, it's like trust, except it's not because you think they're good people, it's because you think you have leverage over them.
Now, which dictionary do you think would be the best one to put this in for quickest dissemination and quickest insemination into the public?
Well, I'm not sure, but I just say avoid Merriam-Webster's because I hear they've got a terrible editorial staff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird because when we were arguing about how to define things, that's the one that most people use.
Taylor, I had totally forgotten about that conversation. When you asked the question, which dictionary should we submit to, I assumed we were just on a neutral slate here about which dictionaries are good and bad, and so I just told you the truth. I had totally forgotten we'd had that conversation. If I had known, I would have
You
picked
did.
Merriam's. I'm sorry.
I totally thought that our inferior functions like introverted sensing and extroverted thinking came into play especially when we're being combative, don't they?
Well, I do seem to remember shit for purposes of combat only.
Oh yeah, like which dictionary to use.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, but to see what they come up with there,
Yeah,
doesn't that make sense?
Taylor and I had a
The
make-believe
minute that
fight
we're
the other night.
fighting,
We had a make-believe fight. This is called the meta battle, right? Because neither Taylor or I, of course, cares at all about which dictionary that we use to fucking.
I
define
was
shit.
there for it.
Okay, I'm not telling you, Susanna. There are other people watching this, presumably, right?
Maybe.
Yes, there are.
I mean, maybe if they're not watching it right now, they might eventually if it's a good video. I think it's gonna be really, really good. Are you enjoying it right now? You're liking it, aren't you?
Let's decide some other things too. Since we've already decided that we need the trust or whatever is a word.
Trost.
Let's decide Trost. Trost is a thing. Can we make double A's the universal best battery size?
Yes, because then you only have to buy one.
Thank you.
I gotta have to.
Any
I have
opposition
to
to double
abstain
A?
from this vote because I like the batteries that fit in this thing. They're
Now
big.
hold on. We're talking about we get it. It's funner to sit on.
Oh, you bash people over the head with it.
You can put like 12 of those.
That's why cops carry these things. They're freaking. They're a club.
I know. Mine's even blue too. Wherever it went. Torque wrenches are good for that. So, anyways, what I was saying is, obviously not every battery is gonna. We can't eliminate all batteries because there are some that sometimes you need a smaller battery.
Hey,
Sometimes you need
I
a bigger
said
one.
I'd abstain from the vote. It's still unanimous with one abstention.
I don't accept your reason for abstention.
Now do you?
Whack.
Okay,
That's what it
you
feels
will.
like to get your PSIs properly torqued.
So, Susanna, what do you think about self-development that we were just talking about? Whatever. Save me.
Save you?
Save me from flailing around.
There's been so much flailing that I'm also as lost as you.
I mean,
You're
what
as
is
lost
this?
as
Should we
me?
just change this to? Should we just call it what it is? NTPs talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about, and maybe you'll learn something.
We're doing a good job of bringing the subject back to self-development periodically. Right now, I'm developing the
Okay.
part of myself that says, hey, we promised a fair talk about a real subject with real earnest tones of voice. And that's what we're going to deliver, gosh darn it. So,
You promised.
okay, I promised, fine. And maybe I didn't even promise. But you know what? I want you to feel like I promised because I like to give feeling promises. So,
What I'm developing right now is my SI or SE, whatever.
okay, so
I'm cleaning. What's that?
what I actually do think is a way for me to self-develop is to be more on topic and be more attentive to basically TE outcome-based shit. Now, everybody tells me if anybody cares enough to think about it, they probably have told me at some point one of the many ways in which I'm doing this thing wrong. In other words, not maximizing my own outcomes or something. But here's what I'd say about that in terms of self-development in general. If you're doing something that's doing something, it takes time to do it. What the hell? Don't worry, I got a
Someone
machete.
honking at him? I got a machete too. It's not down here. Damn. It's not a Kershaw either. I don't know if they make machetes. They should. Ah. So what function is cleaning up the house? Is that S and E?
No, that's SI. That's SI.
Okay.
Okay, but here's
I
an
am
example.
S-I-ing my ass off.
So development for me goes like this. Fucking god damn it! Wait, hold on. Hey Capio, what's up?
Are you busy?
No. I'm not busy.
I wanted to tell you something. I was kind of got upset and I was trying to let it go, but I thought I just would at least tell you something because it kind of upset me and I don't want to anyways, so like a couple days ago, I guess.
Let us
to a party,
be voyeurs.
and when he walked in, the guy
I can't hear you.
can't hear me.
Oh, now I can.
How bad do you want to listen to that, Susanne?
Yeah, now I can. Now I got you.
Not really.
You're not. That didn't activate your Snoop Center.
No, because it didn't sound serious.
And then he
Well, she's been trying to let something go.
at a party with all of my son's friends, and she was talking about our sex life, telling the people at the party about our sex life, and that
So Lila did?
yeah.
Okay, well, okay. Capio, listen, hold on. Okay, it's not okay for Delilah to say anything about that at all. Okay, I will talk to her about that. When I talk to my daughter about my personal shit like that, I expect her to keep those confidences. Okay? So the fact that she didn't do that
Nice.
means that I will go talk to her right now. In fact, I'm going to go call her right now. Okay? I apologize that happened. It should never have happened. And there you go. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it except what I'm going to do right now is just go call Delilah and talk to her about it.
Okay, it's fine. And I mean, I just wanted to express though, like, I was like, I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't like break them
No.
up. They were already separated. And
You did nothing wrong. Neither did I. Neither of us did anything wrong at all. But she still shouldn't be fucking talking about it to your son's friends.
yeah, that was my friend's, like, his best friend, like his best friends. And so, I mean, to tell you the truth, my Gavin's married now. My
Huh.
daughter-in-law was fired up.
I wonder what the specifics are. Do you wonder, Suzanne, what the specifics are that were mentioned?
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, so I told her to calm down.
It
I'm
does.
trying to have fun and be an asshole, and you're not letting me.
She'll go like crazy. So I calm down, I don't
Or you're not
You can.
participating.
I don't like if she hates me or
Hmm?
It's always more fun with a friend. It's always more fun with a friend, as I'm sure that those two know.
I don't know, maybe she thought
So fun.
something, but I don't need her.
You need to find a nail.
I don't need her to like
It's like you're trying to be an asshole, and I'm trying not to be an asshole.
I know.
Yeah, I don't blame
You're
you,
doing a
man.
good
I'm
job
so
of
sorry that
stifling
happened.
me.
I will talk to her about it. Obviously, she shouldn't.
Well, you don't have other people trying to
Christ,
help
what is
you.
wrong with that fucking girl? Anyway, I'll talk to her about it.
I don't? I mean, no, I don't. It's, yeah, I guess I don't. But I don't need people to help me. Normally, I just need people to respond in a predictable way. And I forget that while predictable, INTPs also know what the fuck I'm doing and know how to squash that shit.
Well, I have practiced in my home.
In your home, do you have an ENTP in your home?
And my boyfriend,
Is he unruly as fuck?
he can be.
But
he
you keep
tries
him
to be.
ruly?
Talk to Delilah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's like we go out and do stuff, and he says something dumb,
Right now. She's not gonna
and
have
then
fun.
he says jokingly, he says,
All right,
when we
talk
go
to you
home,
later.
she will beat me.
Bye.
Off?
It's not really true, but he knows it annoys me, and he will hear about it later.
Does he make crude jokes at inappropriate times?
Yes, it's his favorite pastime.
Probably especially for you.
Yeah. And whoever.
Because you give the best response.
I'm not sure. I don't think I do that anymore.
You probably still do. You probably do it just with one eyeball, like.
Well, I laugh too, so it's okay. As long as it doesn't cross
You're
a
right.
certain line.
What's the line? Oh, don't tell me. It'll be more fun finding it.
Good luck with that. You'll find it in 2 minutes. But you don't know enough. You don't know enough about me to do that, I think.
Don't underestimate my ability to be a very efficient douchebag. But I'm not going to play right now. Is Eric back with us? He looks concerned.
Oh fuck! Again
Can you
with
do
this
it, Jeff?
shit.
I wonder what the details of his
What else
sex
would I-
life that were discussed are. Do you,
Man.
Susanne?
You want to discuss that?
Fucking Eric.
I mean, you were talking for a long time muted, weren't you?
What?
Were you talking for a long time on mute?
Is it something?
Well, the thing is, of course,
He said, fucking...
there's a couple problems here. There's a number of things. What I'm forgetting is, number one, we're not live streaming. What's not being live streamed is what you guys are hearing. OBS is getting the mic before it goes to there. Okay, so
Yes.
nothing's
It's
being
all
muted
going
on my
in.
end at all. I'm not muting in OBS, so it's all being live streamed out live.
I don't
Good
understand.
job. Good job.
And then I go on fucking Facebook afterwards and forget that I'm on here and start responding to Facebook messages. But as far as I know, the only Facebook message I'm responding to is Kelly's, who's talking to me about judging for a debate tournament and whether she can judge for me at another debate tournament. So it's banal enough. But Jesus, the risks here are insane. But of course,
I know.
here's what you realize, kind of. Oh, that's right. Nobody gives a fuck. As they shouldn't. There's nothing. I'm not doing anything bad. You know. It's not like I'm hurting anybody or committing crimes or anything. I'm not doing anything bad at all. I'm just have secrets I'm not supposed to tell. A couple of secrets or whatever, and
So should we live stream you calling Delilah?
yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, we should.
We are such fun parents. We are so much fun as parents.
Delilah will enjoy
Shut
that.
up, Kelly.
I should make a shelf.
God damn motherfucking meow. Okay, no more, Kelly. Gah. No more fucking Facebook. Close. Pow. That's better. Okay, now. What were we doing? What was happening?
We were going to call Delilah
Oh, that's
on
right. Call
stream
Delilah.
and talk to her about talking about your sex life. But first, we need to know exactly what was said.
Call Delilah. You mean between me and Capillo?
Calling Delilah Strauss, mobile.
When I realized
Who's
what it was
Capillo?
about, that's why I unmuted because I realized, oh, that's not that big deal. Whatever it is she wanted, it's
Is
not
Capillo
about
your ex-wife?
what Capillo's.
Who's
woman-
Capillo?
I slept with her.
Ex-wife?
I slept with her after my ex-wife.
Okay.
Answer the phone, Delilah.
Please leave your message for 310.
God damn it. Answer the phone. Yo,
Hmm?
call me ASAP. She didn't answer the phone.
Did you type yo?
Yeah, I typed yo. Said, yo, call me ASAP. Joe, is my phone back? Oh, it's backwards. It's reversed.
I'm not a fan of that acronym.
ASAP?
Right.
Why not?
It's, I don't know, just kind of annoying. It got overused. That and 24/7. Do you not agree?
I agree. I think your point is off the fleek. It's off the chain.
I mean, I don't think I use fleek in proper context.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't actually know what fleek is.
I don't either. It's some derivation of that chain of idiom.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be trendy. Like, I think that my shoes are fleek.
I think it makes means perfect or something.
No, it doesn't mean that because the people using it are not.
That's true. But I think that's what they mean.
What do you need to achieve perfection in your life, Susanna?
I don't know what would be the perfect life. I guess money. Then I could have better things and go places and whatever. Other than that,
Perfection is boring.
Yeah.
Do you like to go places? Is that what you want to do? You want to go places?
Yeah, I would like to travel more.
Why?
To see new things, experience different cultures, see what it's actually like in different parts of the world.
But what if it's uncomfortable there? What if the food's not very good?
Then I have the money to just leave. Go there and okay.
I've never been a big fan of traveling in general, although my trips for talking with famous people have been fun. But it's because
That's because you got to do it your way.
right. But I mean the thing is, the home is the most do it your own way place of all. That's what you lose when you are traveling. If you want to have your home is an extension of your own body, kind of. It's like I have.
It's
if I'm on
my
the
home
road
is.
and I'm traveling. I have me and a limited amount of other shit that I use to exist in the world. If I'm home, I've got this. I've got this. I've got all kinds of things around me. I can grab lots of things.
Yeah, but let's say you are
Right,
away.
but those are all your already things.
All right, Susanna, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, if you go away for a week, you will enjoy it extra when you are back home again.
That's true, but that's only true for like 1 week out of every 3 months, and only if I go away for a week in the proper fashion.
Well, I didn't mean like travel all the time, but with
I
more
think
money, you
that
could go to more
not-
expensive destinations.
That's true.
When you don't have yourself surrounding you, when you're not as comfortable as you could be, it forces you to do fun things that otherwise you might be too lazy to do. Taking away some comfort can make for a lot more fun.
I don't know. This is pretty fun. I wish I had more
You
drugs.
found
I don't want to take
you
more
found a
speed
way-
right now. It's too late to take more speed.
You found a way to bring. You invented a whole new way to socialize. You can now socialize inside the home from your ass, from absolute comfort. You can have absolute socialization.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good outcome.
And you invented that. You invented that system out of like either a need for socialization, the need for socialization, and the simultaneous need for lazy comfort.
And that brings us back to our topic of self-development and developing the self. So you can try to change.
Hold on,
but is that
that's
really
an
the best way to do it?
astonishing amount. That's an astonishing compliment to preserve laziness. Think about all the work you did so you could be lazy.
The thing is, I don't think there was a non-home-based alternative that was gonna actually satisfy me at all. Although I did just say I'm gonna go to this meetup group thing to look at chicks.
Oh, is it a speed dating thing?
No, it's not. It's not officially a dating thing. I'm just saying that's why I'm going there. Is because
So look at chicks. You should work on that phrasing.
Well, I'm not going to necessarily get any chicks. So what else should I say?
Don't have to say anything.
If it's a chick-based activity, make it less technically accurate and more socially acceptable.
How will I ever fix society then?
You're gonna start somewhere else besides.
Oh, I know what you can
Chicks.
say. You're going there because you like people.
To
Okay,
meet
I could see
women.
that. See, look at this. I'm gonna have to on March 19th, Sunday, March 19th. I'm gonna have Abe and Felix cover the 1-4 class. This is hello INFPs. It's for INFPs, but it says this will be a quick chat centered around the MBTI and typology from 11:30 to 1:30 on Sunday the 19th in Glendale. Well, that's close. I can make it back by 2 o'clock for class, actually. And I'm just going to go find out if anybody recognizes me.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
I'll make a couple
So
more
you're-
INFP videos
So
between now and then.
you're poaching the INFP market.
Well, right, and I'm gonna prime it too by making some additional INFP videos that are very positive between now and then.
What is it that INFPs like?
They like to have themselves be explained as. They like to have the things that other people criticize them for explained and justified.
Oh my god, extroverted and feeling. That's a hell of a combination.
I can do it. I know how to do it perfectly.
Yeah, but I haven't had much practice with it.
Look, it goes like this. If we're gonna make an INFP, let's stop the stream.
I'm just thinking out
Let's
loud.
stop the stream and let's make an INFP video designed
Why don't
to
we make
appeal to
one on the
INFPs.
Are we still streaming?
Yeah, let's
Yes.
end the stream, and then let's do that thing I was just saying.
Do that thing on the stream. You want some buffer room? But you're all about honesty. We could stream it now because I don't know anything about INFPs. I mean, from a hands-on experience, I haven't dealt with a lot of INFPs.
All right, so
We
why
could
don't
talk
why don't we
about
do
them
this? Let's do
live.
this. Let's stream it now as a practice run of the INFP video, and then we'll do it again. Okay?
So people watching now can see the practice, and if it's good, we can use that. If it needs some touch-ups, we can gank it and then put up a different one.
Right. Well, I mean, no, we can leave this
Okay.
as part of we can leave this as part at the end of the live stream. This is part of self-development too. It's like, be willing to say, okay, I'm gonna do this thing here that's maybe slightly unconventional, but it's not.
And we might fuck it up.
We might fuck it up. It's okay to fail. It's totally okay to fail as long as it's designed. You use your failures to go like, okay, that's not. Don't do that again. And or
It's how you learn.
yeah, it's how you learn. It's how you learn shit.
And I didn't. Oh, one last thing about self-development before we move on to INFPs is perfection as a concept sucks. It's boring. Fuck that.
Correct. So
I mean, just think about it. But if everything is perfect, what are we doing? We got nothing to argue about. We got nothing to try to get. We've got no risk, which is like the basis of fun is risk.
is that true? Is the basis of fun risk?
Maybe not.
Susanna?
Not necessarily.
What else
Well,
could be
I mean,
fun?
the
Risk
basis
can
of my
be.
sex.
High five.
But INFP, is it like me but more positive or something?
INFP is like you but more positive. No, INFP is very unlike INTP in most ways, but there are a couple of similarities, like there's a lack of hurry in both types. Like you never seem like life's moving too slow for you. sometimes you guys seem like life's moving too fast for you and you retire to your thoughts. It's how it appears to others. It may or may not actually be that, but that's how it appears.
I don't. Whereas we, I'm sure, present entirely the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to talk about first the relationship between FI and NE and how that causes them to make sets of complex
What?
feelings representing an other as what do you call that? Like slices, I guess. As slices of remembered occasions of valuing and or you know, whatever the opposite of that is, like feeling revulsion or negativity, negative stuff, you know. So, right, and then that's remembered, and then the other one is created, and then how judging function comes first. Okay, so it's kind of like this. So, hello, friends. My name is Host Eric, and welcome to Talking with Famous People. We're going to talk tonight about the INFP personality type, one of the more mysterious and complicated types in the typology set universe. It is a type that offers us a lot of challenge when it comes to understanding how they function, why they function the way they do, and so forth. The reason being, of course, that they are a fully conflicted type insofar as, first of all, they begin with a pairing that seems contradictory in their cognitive function stack, or at least necessarily resulting in doom. So if we take the constructed way of thinking about the world as subject, object, and then the cognitive function shit happening in between, which is typically how we think about it, then when the self, the FI Dom, the INFP in this particular instance, goes forward and encounters another self. Did you guess it? Oh my god, that is so fucking impressive.
What?
How the fuck did you get in here?
No,
What?
you're broadcasting it, Eric.
That's awesome.
I know, but this room's password? Oh, it's not locked. No, but how did you know the name of it?
No password. You can just go in here.
Yeah.
Anyone could do it.
But how'd you know? Oh, because
for Christ's sake, you can see it on the live screen.
Yes.
Oh, well, welcome, she.
Hey, goodbye.
Yeah, okay. We were so impressed. She just dip out?
Yeah, she just wanted to show us you get in, I guess. I don't know. Should we lock it or not?
But does it live stream? Does it live stream? Where's my phone?
Yeah, it's live streaming. I don't know.
I know. I don't know what they can see though. I'm guessing
Everything.
Do you
The same
think
thing
that
we
she
see.
might have just guessed?
They see everything on my screen. So yeah, they see it all. They see everything on my screen.
Okay. I mean, I don't care if we lock it. Yeah, but
I mean, look, I think what we should do. I want to make a regular video. I think we should go into the other room to do the other INFP video, maybe. But let's finish practicing it. So, or at least kind of going over it. Okay. So my points are going to be basically that to frame it, to understand the INFP, you talk about it in terms of subject, object, and conscious interaction or whatever.
See, your room is not locked.
I know. We left it intentionally unlocked this time. Now I'm gonna lock it. Fucking god damn it. Okay, so we're gonna go over how.
My SE is way better than yours.
So, for example, we've got Joe, who's a dude. We've got Susie, who's an INFP. Because as always, when you're talking about INFPs, rule number one: all INFPs are hot chicks. Okay, so we say Susie. Oh, that's why I won't use your name, Susanna. Sorry, I don't know. That's probably why I thought Susie is because you're sitting right there. But Kimberly, we're gonna call her Kimberly, and we're gonna call him Hans. Okay, he's from Germany. Kimberly and Hans, they are encountering each other at the library. Now, Kimberly is an IFP, and she's been keeping her eye on Hans for a while now. She's been seeing him around town, and she likes the cut of his jib. And so she's going to go over there and experience a relationship with him over time. And we're going to see how that thing grows, okay? First of all, note,
Is he going to do sex at her?
She has already approached a new thing in the universe, namely Hans, with her two first functions, first and foremost. She's a judger first with FI, which means once she's got Hans in her attention, she's attending to him via the valuing mechanism, either finding him liking him or disliking him, being repulsed by him. It's a negative or positive interaction with things that matter to the INFP. If something's irrelevant to an INFP, if she doesn't care about it, then she might deal with it with less of a dominant function perspective. Just as when I encounter something like, I don't know, cleaning the house, for example, is not very NE for me. It's very SI. And I don't really go through with that framework. So regardless, the point is, in dealing with Hans, though, she feels a little chemistry there, a little spark. She's going to deal with him using her dominant function, of course, first and foremost. It's going to cause her to like him right away. Now, the second thing she's going to do, though, is she's going to make meanings about Hans. But while the ENTP might make meanings about something using TI and consistency in order to establish certain whatevers, or the INTP might as well. Oh, let's look at the INTP. Let's concentrate the INTP instead. INTP is a judger too, but they're going to do it with TI. What's the difference? As the INTP approaches Hans, the INTP Penelope approaches Hans. She's thinking, is he consistent with my desired mating partner? Here are some thoughts of what I'd like a mating partner to be. And then, Susanna, what will you chime in this exciting part of the video when we do it again properly? Will you say, yes, you're right, Eric? Or you say, no, Eric, you don't get it at all?
I don't get the INFP, so I can't really
I'm talking
say
about
anything.
INTP. I said, in contrast to the INFP, the INTP will go up to Hans thinking to herself, okay, Hans is a good... I'm going to go for Hans because he meets my criteria.
Yes.
Versus because I like him.
I like him would not be enough.
Would not be enough.
Really? I think it's enough for ENTPs, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a shock to discover that's an option.
I mean, define like.
Cats are fighting.
Are those cats?
Yeah. Hey.
Those are severe.
Well, like the feeling aspect, like how the guy makes you feel. But then it's all about how will you work together as a couple? Are there things about him which doesn't necessarily make you feel bad but could be a problem later on?
Like if he has bad arguments.
If he's if he's an idiot and does not know how to make any argument, that would be kind of annoying.
It would.
Okay, so it's interesting. I think Susanna understands better than either Taylor or I what it means to say liking someone would not be enough. I think ENTP, at least until fairly recently for me, and probably in general still, is going to tend to react to the question of whether you like somebody or not with either, well, of course I like them. Of course I have to like them first, or if they're a little more developed, they'll go, well, actually, I think that's kind of irrelevant. But Susanna actually knows what it is. It's that feeling, and no, that's not significant enough. That's a much more aware answer of what FI is than ENTP answers, which are based on the fact that you're asking us about something that we assume we know about and understand, because we've heard the words so many times, we use them, and we get the word outcomes that we expect, and so, well, that must be what it means. It must be that thing you use in those kind of arguments over there.
And it seems like something that it'd be almost impossible to not know. At face value. Until you realize that you don't know.
Right. It must, of course I know what that is. That's obvious. I don't even need to think about what it is. But I realized the first time I started to realize why I didn't know what it was at all was when I was getting divorced with Candace and I was in marriage counseling, and I said, yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about when you keep saying like about love and stuff. Does it even have any meaning? And you guys do you know what you're talking about? I have my doubts.
Well, hold on now. Love, that's such a subjective word. It's so universally used, and it's just assumed that everyone has the same subjective understanding of it.
Right, but if you
okay,
if you know the feeling, I mean, if you spend time with the feeling, we all know what the feeling is. But ENTPs are so accustomed to, it's like saying, well, yeah, I know what blinking is. Of course, it's that thing that happens a little bit. And so you don't pay attention to it. Or I know what, well, of course I know what it means to feel concerned or something. You just sort of say, of course you do, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. The whole feelings thing are hard to explain.
So what you're saying is that we love so much, ENTPs love more than any other type. We love so much we don't even recognize.
No, actually we don't love very much. We love almost not at all.
Okay. Well, bad TEFE, whatever that was.
But we behave lovingly, which is good enough. In fact, it's more than most people who do love.
Text message.
We behave way more lovingly than the people who actually love. And I do love sometimes. It's when I'm sitting with somebody and I don't want to talk, and I'm just like, because she's so pretty, and I'm like, just listening. Or with my daughter, Delilah will sit there and she'll tell me about her boring ass shit. For anybody else, I'd say, Delilah, this shit is fucking so boring, I don't want to hear another word about it. Instead, with Delilah, I sit there and I just sort of look at her and I feel warmth towards her being healthy and displaying just sort of her age and being banal, but so obviously happy. It just makes me happy to see her happy and being her. There's nothing else about it. It's not instrumental at all, right? And it's not about me at all. And it's just a feeling in your chest, and it's for a little while, and it has value in and of itself without you having to do anything else. So that's kind of nice. But again, like Susanna said, I can understand why someone might not think it's enough, except imagine if you never had that feeling, really. Almost never. You think of a couple people you have that feeling about or with. I've had it with Taylor. I've had that warm friend feeling with Taylor. I've been like, I really like the fact that I'm here with you and you're my friend. You know, it's like, it's just spending the time to let yourself say those words and feel it and shit. We think it's kind of gay, so we don't really want to do it. Anyway, INFPs. They have that shit first slot, which means they will sit there and actively value you. You will feel loved if you are an alive man in the world. You're a living man in the world. And there's an INFP woman who's valuing you actively by radiating her affection for you out of her smile and in her eyes and in a way that's truer than FE. Then you'll realize that FI's polar were more or less powerless against them. And the good news is they're so driven by how they feel that the notion that they're even when they're just not very wicked. They're just not wicked. I don't know what to say. They end up doing some wicked shit maybe because they don't have the, for some reason, for the flip side of the coin of the reason why ENTP does some wicked shit. It's like, we do some wicked shit because we don't remember to account for feelings. They do some wicked shit because they don't remember to account for thinking. If we team up together and get an FITI combo punch, then the individual is prioritized to the full extent of the law and to the full extent of individual emotions, and TE and FE have to be relegated to their proper places as subordinate to FI and TI. Anyhow,
for
that
that
got
to
a little
work,
off topic. Let's go in there and let's actually, let me push record. When I know we're doing a real video, we'll put a handle on it. Okay? You guys get the gist of the topic?
Yep.
yeah.
All right. I'll see you in a room.
I'm gonna check out on something for a second. Are we going to the other room? Okay,
I'll see you in there. Room 1 or room 2 or something. I don't know.
Pick one.
Let's go to room 2.
Thank you.
Room 2.